Well, welcome back to K-Nation. We're joined by a very special guest today to talk K-State recruiting.
That's right. Drew Galloway is here from On3 Sports and K-State Online. Make sure you follow this guy. He has all the latest recruiting info for you. Drew, Clifford, the Rutgers transfer, was a guy that K-State went after. They didn't get him, and we haven't got it confirmed yet, but the latest is that they're not going to get the battle kid from Arkansas. K-State fans are freaking out on Twitter, man. What do you say?
Yeah, so I would just advise people to kind of relax a little bit. It's still early. I know that it sucks right now because just those are the two names that you probably heard the most of from other reporters, from us at K-State Online. But I would say that to not worry. I think that they have some other guys that are in the back pocket that I don't think that are publicly known about, but I think that you'll kind of see that come across on the boards in the next few weeks, that they had some backup plans.
Absolutely, and so it's not something that K-State fans should be concerned about, even though there's been several guys that have hit the portal and one that went to the draft. I mean, it seems like there's a whole lot of movement going on over there right now.
Yeah, it's just how college basketball works right now, and it's absolutely insane to think about how basketball has kind of evolved to now. It just seems like you're in a state of like constantly swimming upstream, where if you add guys, it seems like it could scare off some other guys. Yeah, and it just is kind of just how it works right now, and it's interesting to really think about, because I know that Data Ames was probably the biggest name to hit the portal for K-State, and a lot of that kind of stemmed from all these other guards coming in. So I'm interested to see kind of where K-State pivots and where they go from here. Yeah,
as you look at recruitment in general, whether that's football or basketball, whatever, how much has that changed, even in the 3 or 4 years that you've been kind of the insider with On3?
Yeah, it's been absolutely insane how much recruiting has changed. It's gone from kind of your standard, like, who gets the best relationships recruitment to now NIL is involved heavily. Transfers are more heavily involved. I've made a comment that if I had more free time with everything that I'm doing, that I would want to do like a research on how many guys in college basketball specifically are a multi-time transfer compared to how many guys are on their 4th year at one school. Because I think that the multi-time transfer you're seeing more and more of.
It's crazy.
Which is insane to think about, because at this time, 4 years ago, there was still a transfer kind of, I think it was Jeff Goodman deemed it an epidemic at the time. But now it just seems like it's that times probably 15, 20, because there are a lot of power conference schools still that have four or more scholarship spots open, and K-State's one of them. And I believe it's like, as of 2 days ago, 6 Big 12 schools still had four spots open.
Wow.
That's just crazy. And NIL, obviously you mentioned it, but that's just a huge part of this whole thing. Is that maybe helping or hurting the situation? What do you think, like in terms of bringing guys, retaining guys, all that stuff?
It's a balance. I know that NIL at K-State has gotten a lot better within the last few months, and you're seeing that. I believe that Wildcat NIL got to their 1,000 member mark, which unlocked the $1 million reward, which goes to all sports.
Drew, I'll ask you one more, and I want to go football this time. K-State got a linebacker out of the portal, but probably the bigger name is they get Dylan Edwards from Colorado, and I think fans are excited about his talent, but also they got hurt. Like, let's just be honest, they got hurt a year ago or so. Are they gonna get hurt again?
I don't think so. I think that Dylan Edwards has matured a lot in these last 12 months, and I think that he's ready to go to work and ready to go at K-State. And he gets to play with Avery Johnson. And he gets to be with DJ Giddens as one of the best running back tandems in the Big 12. I won't say the best right now, because the Big 12 running back right now is loaded. But I think that it's firmly in the top 3.
Heck of a 1-2 punch they got for sure.
Absolutely, yeah.